I will with Anthony with camp 2 weeks.
Oh wow.
Yeah, we're training together. Anthony makes special work. I too special, but we work together. Yes. I will pray Jake Paul because I want fight with Jake Paul in octagon.
Yes. I mean, I don't like. What one? It's completely illegal, right? It's a sanctioned fight where people can place bets on the fight. It's completely illegal to have any kind of script.
Oleksandr Usyk joining AJ's camp changes everything. His sharp warning now puts Jake Paul's heavyweight ambitions in serious doubt. Meanwhile, before giving his thoughts on the idea of Jake Paul facing Anthony Joshua, Roberto Duran made it clear that his relationship with boxing has changed. He explained that he no longer watches the sport the way he once did, and because of that, he doesn't judge today's fighters or compare them. With that perspective, he shared how he now views modern bouts. He said, "Very good. The only thing I can tell you is that nowadays, today, I don't watch fights. I only watch movies. I don't want to watch fights anymore because I know what will happen to me. Who is good, who is bad, I don't care. I only watch movies." After explaining the difference between Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua, Usyk continued in the same common lighthearted manner. He made it clear that he wasn't speaking from dislike but from genuine interest in how the matchup would look. Staying consistent with his earlier points about entertainment and competition, he added that he personally supports the idea of witnessing the fight.
I want this fight. Yeah, as I want this fight. Listen, if I do, I very як буду сприяти.
I will try to help this.
Yeah, I will try to help.
Joshua is training with your team.
This is my brother.
Adding to that, Rampage Jackson shared his thoughts on the potential Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua fight. He believes Joshua's experience, size, and power give him a clear advantage, and that the fight would likely end quickly in Joshua's favor. He referenced Joshua's previous knockout of Francis Ngannou to explain why he sees a big gap between a seasoned heavyweight and a crossover fighter like Jake Paul.
How do you think that's gonna go?
Man, Anthony Joshua, I don't know why I think Anthony Joshua would knock him out. No disrespect to Jake Paul, I think Anthony Joshua would knock him out. I'm staying like within like 2-3 rounds.
Yeah.
You saw what Anthony Joshua did to Francis Ngannou?
Yeah.
Come on, I ain't never seen Francis get knocked out.
Yeah, that's huge too.
Yeah,
I mean, they're
huge.
both huge.
Yeah, he's huge, but you gotta hear the story.
Rampage then discussed factors outside the ring that can affect a fight's outcome. He noted how promotions and scheduling, like late-night fights or long locker room waits, can influence a fighter's performance. He emphasized that while talent is important, the surrounding circumstances can make a significant difference, and that understanding these behind-the-scenes elements is crucial to understanding why some results occur in boxing.
But you gotta get Francis Ngannou in here and hear this story though.
I'd love to.
Bro, he was set up though, for real. I
On
believe
that
it.
fight?
Yeah, I believe him. Cause here's what they do, like what sometimes what people don't understand. Like in boxing too, I don't know a whole lot about boxing. You know, when you fight for promotion, they promote that fighter. So he's fighting in Saudi Arabia. So they was probably fighting at 3 a.m. and they had him in the locker room since like 12 o'clock.
Meanwhile, instead of jumping straight into the matchup talk, Oleksandr Usyk kept his tone friendly and straightforward. He didn't try to attack anyone, but he wanted to explain the difference between a long-established heavyweight champion and a newer crossover athlete. Usyk also highlighted how modern boxing often mixes competition with entertainment, which is why he clarified his point before giving his full response.
Yeah, you're correct. If Anthony Joshua won, Anthony killed this guy. Listen, a lot of questions, blah blah blah. Only one my answer. Anthony Joshua is Olympic champion. First. Jake Paul, it's he's a sportsman, YouTuber, showman. Rolls Royce, Fiat. Listen, it's true. Yeah, I'm not. Типа я не обзываюсь.
I have nothing bad in mind.
Yeah. It's just true. It's business, more money. Only this.
So we need to pray for Jake Paul.
Yes. I will pray Jake Paul because I want fight with Jake Paul in octagon.
Before giving his full assessment, BJ Flores acknowledged the difficulty of comparing Jake Paul to a seasoned heavyweight like Anthony Joshua. He pointed out that while Jake has been seeking high-profile challenges, stepping into the ring with a world champion and Olympic gold medalist represents a completely different level. Flores set the stage by pointing out the size, skill, and experience gap between the two fighters.
I mean, it's a tough question to answer. It's on paper, it looks like a very, very tough fight. And, to anybody in the industry, Anthony Joshua is a world champion, a gold medalist. This is a big difference from, anybody else that, Jake's fought in the past. But, he's looking for these big challenges. He wants to fight the toughest guys. And I think with Anthony Joshua, he got exactly that. I mean, Anthony Joshua is a guy I would have never dreamed in a million years Jake would have fought him in his fifth year boxing in a fight situation like this. I thought he would have given it a little more time, but I mean, this is an extremely difficult fight. Anthony Joshua is 6'6", 245 pounds, extremely dangerous, gold medalist, world champion, and I think this is a very, very difficult fight for Jake. So I wouldn't have made this fight, no.
After outlining the challenge Jake Paul faces against Anthony Joshua, Flores went further to explain why on paper the fight looks extremely difficult. He emphasized that his evaluation is based on actual resumes and past achievements rather than speculation. Flores noted that most boxing experts and former fighters see little chance for Jake, highlighting how early and ambitious this matchup is in his career.
Well, I mean, you got to go up, when you go off the resumes, that's what I go off of. A lot of people will say potential, like, this could happen, this could happen. I only go off like who's beaten who. So if you look at it on paper, it doesn't look like Jake has any chance on paper, but I think that's probably why he wanted to make this fight. And like I said, I'm not in the camp, so I don't know all the conversations that are going on in camp Jake Paul right now. But on paper, this looks like an extremely difficult fight. And any boxing experts, that I've talked to, whether it's former fighters or whoever, they don't give Jake any chance at all. I'm not saying he doesn't have any chance. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that, everybody in the know-how as far as the boxing world, they're like, Jake has zero chance to win this fight. And, it is on paper, though. It does seem like it's early. And it does, seem like it's premature, in my opinion.
Building on his earlier points, Flores highlighted the vast difference in experience between Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua. He explained that stepping into the ring with a fighter who has participated in over a dozen world title fights is a huge challenge, especially for someone without that level of championship experience. Flores stressed that while anything can happen in boxing, Jake is facing a steep uphill battle. Like AJ's had, I don't know, probably I want to say 13 or 14 or 15 world title fights, and it's tough to go directly into a fight, as the cruiserweight with the heavyweight, with the man who's had 14 or 15 world title fights when you haven't had any world title fights. So the opposition is just a massive step, but there's always a puncher's chance. You always got that, but the chance of winning a fight like this on the experience level with a guy like Anthony Joshua, it just seems like it's going to be an uphill battle. Furthermore, Eddie Hearn addressed the rumors that the Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua fight could be scripted. He explained that professional boxing is strictly regulated, and scripting a fight would be completely illegal. Hearn clarified that nothing in this matchup is planned or rehearsed, and every action in the ring will be real. He stressed that Joshua will treat this as a serious fight, showing his full skill and power.
Yes. I mean, I don't like... One, it's completely illegal, right? It's a sanctioned fight where people can place bets on the fight. It's completely illegal to have any kind of script. We would never... Could you imagine a conversation? Oh yeah, hi Eddie, and what we're going to do is we're going to come out in the second round, right? We're going to throw a jab. Like, what? Let me tell you what's going to... Let me tell you the script for AJ against Jake Paul.
Hearn went on to describe how the fight is expected to play out. When the bell rings, Joshua will take control of the ring and use his strongest punches to challenge Jake Paul. Hearn reassured fans that the fight is genuine and intense, and the outcome will depend entirely on the fighter's abilities. He reminded everyone that December 19th will deliver a real, authentic heavyweight showdown.
The bell's going to go, AJ's going to go out, take the middle of the ring, and he's going to unload the heaviest artillery on Jake Paul's chin he can as quickly as possible. And he's going to knock him spark out. If you think this is scripted, wait till you see what happens on December 19th, because you will go, me. One thing's for sure, that weren't scripted.
Meanwhile, Sonnen discussed whether Jake Paul is brave or reckless, explaining that people often simplify his choices into these two options. He highlighted that wins can look very different depending on the sport or situation. Using his experience with Metamoros, a grappling event with high-level athletes and strong production, Sonnen showed that the effort and context of a competition can make a performance meaningful, even if the outcome isn't a traditional victory.
Is Jake Paul brave or stupid? What do you think? And these are the only options that you're being given. Now, I'm going off of an article that I read online, but these were the two options: brave or stupid. First off, what is a win? And we do all need to acknowledge as a community that there's wins outside of the norm, at least in this match. There was a grappling show that was coming through as one of the great grappling shows I've seen.
Sonnen then connected this idea to his own participation, noting that with limited competitive experience, his win was different from what others achieved. He emphasized that in sports, success is measured in many ways, depending on skill, experience, and context. This perspective reinforces that Jake Paul taking on challenging fights reflects a different type of risk and achievement, which can't simply be judged as brave or stupid.
Participated in it was called Metamoros. And Metamoros just spent a lot of money on budget, on athletes, on promotion, making this look great, bringing people in, filling up the stands. They had a live band there. I mean, it was something very special. But when a guy like me gets called, who's never done a competitive grappling match, and only has a purple belt in jiu-jitsu, it becomes very clear to my audience that a win or victory is something else. It's something different than what the opponents got to do to me or what every other person on the card that night has got to do to their opponents. For example, make it the distance.
Moving on to that, Wade Plemon explained that Jake Paul is taking his fights against Anthony Joshua extremely seriously. He pointed out that this matchup is not only the toughest of Jake's career, but also carries major risks for his health and long-term career. Plemon highlighted that to handle a fight of this level safely, Jake needs the best preparation and the right team around him to maximize his chances.
That could have been a different picture, that could have been something else, but that's pretty shocking to see. With that being said, I want to push back on that because I do think Jake is taking this as seriously as he absolutely needs to, because this is not only the toughest fight of his career, it's the most dangerous to the longevity of his career, to his health and well-being. And so to do something like that, you need to bring in the best help possible.
Plemon then detailed how Jake prepared, bringing in a high-level sparring partner who is also a top competitor. This partner helps simulate the challenge Joshua will present, giving Jake a realistic experience in camp. By working with such skilled teammates, Jake ensured he was ready for the intensity of the fight and could face a world-class heavyweight with proper preparation and strategy.
We already heard that Jake Paul was preparing for Anthony Joshua by sparring the guy that Anthony Joshua was about to fight in Cassius Chaney. This gentleman right here, who was 24-3 from B-More, aka the DMV, and apparently is a top 100 heavyweight, even though it doesn't say he's actually a top 100 heavyweight, but that was what he was being marketed as by Eddie Hearn and AJ. Apparently Jake brought him into camp.
Before sharing his prediction for the Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua fight, Brendan Schaub acknowledged the journey and rise of Jake Paul. He highlighted how Paul has gone from a social media personality to a serious boxing figure, capable of drawing massive attention and big money fights. Schwab then set the stage for his opinion on the matchup and the expected outcome against a top-level heavyweight.
First of all, kudos to Jake Paul. The cojones this mother has, from a Disney kid to YouTube to he can fight anyone and get views and make money. This crazy wild boy sends out the bat signal, the British bat signal for Anthony mother Joshua. You know how crazy that is? I will say this. I don't think any of Jake Paul's fights are fixed in any capacity at all. Not even close. I don't get down that narrative. I will say this though. My spidey senses will go off if Anthony Joshua doesn't absolutely mop the floor with him.
With Oleksandr Usyk joining Anthony Joshua's camp and warning Jake Paul, the stakes have skyrocketed. Experts like Rampage Jackson, BJ Flores, Eddie Hearn, Sonnen, Wade Plemon, and Brandon Schaub all highlight the huge gap in experience and skill between Joshua and Paul. Jake is training hard with top partners, but facing an Olympic gold medalist remains a massive challenge. December 19th promises intensity, high stakes, and a true test of legacy and skill. So, what do you think? Jake Paul can pull off an upset against Anthony Joshua, or is this fight simply too big a challenge? Comment your thoughts below.